You know what time it is, boys. It's time for the Fan Cave Podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Bluedorn. To my right, left, I can hear to the pointing right, you got the man, the myth, the light-skinned champion, my South Dakota brother, Mr. Debo Mills. Right below me, I can do that point all day long. We got one of the two Southern gentlemen, the Alabama boy, inbred and everything, Landon Stidham. And whenever we can, we like to get a guest. And this guest is a good buddy of mine. I don't even know how else to say about him, Mr. Bradley Perry. Gentlemen, I'm excited. We got a ton to talk about. An incredible week of college football and NFL. How we doing, gentlemen?
Doing great. How about you guys?
Solid.
I got a Coke. We're good to go now.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I don't have one right now. I'm actually heartbroken.
8 a.m. in the morning, I'm drinking a Coke. My heart hates me. All right, let's move right into it. As you guys know, we have a few teams that we like to follow on this show. One of them being the Alabama Crimson Tide. And if you don't live under a rock, you know they are now the number one team in the AP poll. They jumped Georgia when Georgia didn't lose, but they looked like they just about did. But there is some bad news in Alabama country. Quarterback Bryce Young is out with a shoulder injury. We don't know the depth of it because Nick Saban won't say anything. He's being a steel trap. But, Landon, I'm coming to you. What are Alabama fans like now with the up-down of Alabama number one, mountaintop, but Bryce Young, their future Hall of Fame quarterback, injured?
Yeah, so I think, like Nick Saban said, it's just an AC joint sprain, but he's also Nick Saban, so you don't know what he's actually trying to get to. You got to look at this. This injury doesn't hurt Bama right now. They play A&M next week. A&M is coming off losses to Mississippi State, lost to Appalachian State. They can beat Texas A&M with Jalen Milroe. I believe that 100%. They still have Jamar Gibbs. They still have some good receivers. I think Tyler Harrell will be back for that game. I'm hoping they can get Eli Ricks back for that game. If the defense is healthy, we'll be okay for that game and beyond that. But the game you got to have him back for is you go to Rocky Top in a couple weeks. And you got to have Bryce Young for that. You're not I don't think you can beat Tennessee without Jalen Milroe. I think we can be competitive in that game. I don't know if we can beat them. Probably would if we had Bryce. But if this is long term, the only game I would see an issue with it is going to be the Georgia game. I don't think you can beat Georgia with Jalen Milroe right now. I think he needs a lot more reps before he can get to a big game like that and win. So you need Bryce long term. But, we saw Arkansas made a comeback and ended up making it what? I think it was 23, 26, 27, 28, somewhere in there. And Arkansas was back in the game going into the fourth quarter. This one stat I shared that was actually pretty crazy. It was this. Alabama had a 3rd and 15 from their own 20, and they were up 4. 8 plays later, they were up 19. It's showing how explosive this offense can be, especially when Jamar Gibbs is playing at his best. So I think as long as Jamar Gibbs is healthy, they can win some of these SEC games. But winning a road SEC game in the fourth quarter is huge for that team.
I can always count Landon Stidham being very, very prepared coming into the first segment of the day. Landon, thank you so much. Brad, what did you think about Alabama's win and also Bryce Young injury? What do you think this team can be?
I was actually really impressed with Alabama because I think it would be easy to lose your moxie when your quarterback goes down. Usually when that happens, I think a lot of teams respond the opposite direction. They kind of panic. But you saw why Alabama was number one team in the country. They played very disciplined without their leader. They still made game-winning plays, and they gave up a little bit of a comeback, but they didn't panic. They regrouped and they focused, and they came out with a very good road win. Arkansas, they might have 2 losses, but they could very well, be 4-1 right now. A couple missed plays away from being a 4-1 team. So that was a good win for Alabama. I'm not too worried about it. I believe what Saban says. If Saban's not worried, I'm not worried. Obviously, the backup quarterback looked fantastic. So Bama will be fine. I agree with Landon. I do think Rocky Top's going to be an interesting game. I still don't think Tennessee's defense has enough to stop Alabama. So I think they'll be okay going forward. I wouldn't give it too much thought.
For sure. Debo, do you think Alabama should have jumped Georgia, or do you think Georgia should still be on top? or do you think Ohio State should be number one? Which one out of those three should be number one right now to you, Debo?
Bama for sure. They've probably scored the most points throughout the week so far, and they haven't really had a close game. So I mean, you got to give it to them.
Fair enough. Do you two down below, do you agree that Alabama should be number one?
I mean, Bama had a really close game at Texas. I would say it was. I mean, I guess for me it was close. For most Bama fans, they probably weren't worried. But for me, I was pretty worried at the Texas game.
Were you guys actually worried at that game yesterday, though?
Do what?
Were you guys actually worried during the Alabama game? I wasn't really worried about it.
So there was a time when I think it was 28-3. I believe that's when it was a really close game and go into the fourth quarter. I was worried because I hadn't seen Jalen Milroe work the ball on offense. And then after that, he broke for a 77-yard run. And then I said, okay, I'm not that worried anymore. After that, I kind of felt – after we scored a touchdown to go up 10 in the fourth quarter, I felt good about it because I knew Arkansas's offense can't score fast. You can tell that he lost Trey Burks last year because last year, the Bama game, if he needed big plays, he can go to Trey Burks. He doesn't have that go-to right now. KJ Jefferson's what I'm talking about. But, yeah, Bama definitely should be number one, I think. They got they got penalized for having a close game to Texas. So Georgia having a close game to Kent State and Missouri should be penalized for the number one spot. If Ohio State had at least one good win, like if they had a good win, against any ranked team at their place or at home or anywhere, then I think we would be giving Ohio State the number one spot today. But because their conference is just so bad and the teams they played are so bad, it's hard to get that. The only good teams are, Michigan, Ohio State, and Minnesota, who's going to win the conference. So, but yeah, I think Bama does deserve it. So we'll see how long that sticks around, though.
No, definitely. I want to say this. There's two plays in that game that worked out for Arkansas to even keep it somewhat close. Obviously, first things first, getting the ball in the second half after scoring a touchdown. I don't know. I can't remember exactly how it worked out, but they had the onside kick, that change that kind of kept them in it, and then the bad punt situation, the hitting the personal protector. If those two plays didn't happen, it would have been a 40-point blowout, and it wouldn't have been close. It would have been they would have put Jalen Milroe in anyway because they were smoking him. This has my Alabama. It would have been they would have absolutely smoked them.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be a blowout like that at all. I didn't think we would win by 3 touchdowns. I thought it would be a very, very hard game because Sam Pittman is a very, very good coach. Arkansas is a very, very good team. I did not think it would be like that. I'm happy it's like that, but right. I mean, I'm also a realist. I think SEC road games. You saw Georgia. SEC road games. You got to respect Bama and Georgia for that because it's hard to win games consistently, even if it's against cupcake teams in the SEC.
Oh, absolutely. All right, moving conferences here. We're going to go to the Big 12. We're going to talk about Oklahoma, who was the favorite in the Big 12 until TCU came and absolutely bent them over, and it did not end well for the old Oklahoma Sooners. My question for you guys is TCU legit? Let's start with that. Is TCU legit, first and foremost? Debo, what do you think? Do you think TCU has a chance to be something special, or is this kind of a fluke win for TCU? To you, Debo.
I haven't watched TCU once this year. I don't know, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. I haven't watched TCU at all.
All right, fair enough. Coming to you.
Now that Quinn Ewers is back, I'm taking Texas, bro. Texas is going to win it out.
For sure. We'll get into that. Brad, who do you let's go into this question because I don't think anybody really knows anything about TCU. Who is your favorite in the Big 12 now that Oklahoma lost TCU, or is it still Oklahoma?
My favorite going into the year was Oklahoma State. I think that they were literally, obviously, if you watch the Big 12 title game, they're literally 2 inches away from winning the conference. I think that they had a lot on their plate this year. I think they had a lot to prove. They return a really good team. Their quarterback is a dog. Spencer Sanders is his name, I think. Yeah. I definitely think Oklahoma State's the favorite in the Big 12. I've been really, really disappointed with Oklahoma's offense because we all knew their defense was very suspect. Man, that offense looked so bad against TCU, and TCU's not a very good defensive team. That's why it was a little bit scary. I think right now I'm going to have to roll with with the Cowboys. Go Pokes.
Yeah.
I respect it.
Is there even a good defense in the Big 12? But Landon, who do you got in the Big 12? Who's your favorite? I think I know where you're going, but what do you think?
I'm going to answer your first question with TCU. I think TCU is good. They've blown out all the teams they played except SMU at their place. And Garrett, the offensive coordinator at TCU, coached at SMU before then. So that's kind of one of those games you figure is going to be close. We'll know if they're legit in the next 2 weeks, TCU, because they have to go to Kansas next week for College game day. Then they host Oklahoma State. Then they down the road they have to go to Texas and then to Baylor back-to-back weeks. But, yeah, man, looking at the game, Oklahoma had 27 points dropped on them in the first quarter. You know, the defense is just atrocious. The offense played terrible. Oklahoma, I think they're done. 2 losses, and you lost your quarterback. This might be a team that's playing for next year the rest of the way out. But my favorite in the Big 12 right now, I do like Oklahoma State a lot just because veteran quarterback, great coach, good defense.
Say what I think you're going to say. I'm going to die. If you say it.
Give me Kansas. Okay, Before we go crazy, look, I get it. And they might get smoked this next week, okay? But does this not remind you of how college football used to be? Where a team with a good quarterback would just come out of nowhere. And somehow they win the conference. And it wasn't the reoccurring powerhouses every single year. It was just random. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of hype in Kansas. If Kansas beats TCU this next week, I'm all in on Kansas. I'm 50-50 with Kansas and Oklahoma State right now. If Kansas beats TCU, give me Kansas 100% the rest of the way. I like Kansas a lot. Are they going to win a national championship? Heck no. Are they going to make the college football playoffs? Heck no. I think they'll lose a game in the conference for sure. But I think they'll make the conference title. The way that the other teams are trending, it looks like it. So
yeah. I don't know. I kind of am on the Debo front a little bit with Texas, with Quinn Ewers potential coming back, but Oklahoma State looks good, man. They look tough. I'm gonna ride Oklahoma State right now, just because of how. They haven't lost yet, and they just look really, really good. I'm gonna go Oklahoma State, but I think Texas is gonna be the second team in that conference if Quinn Ewers can come back and be fully healthy. Debo, you're right. You said Texas, right?
Yeah. We'll find out in the next 2 weeks. They play 2 weeks from now. Oklahoma State, Texas.
Yeah, but next week they got a tough one as well. And Quinn Ewers potentially is coming back for the game. And it's the Red River Rivalry. One of my favorite games of the year. I love it. It's definitely a top 5 game I want to go to. You have for me, it's literally, I watch it every year, and I have to watch that game. I love it so much. But my question to you, Landon, is will Oklahoma bounce back in that game, or do you think Texas with Quinn Ewers is going to blow them out? What do you think, Landon?
I think it's over. I think Texas is going to win it, especially if Quinn Ewers comes back. I do think that we're all holding Quinn Ewers to a standard that he hasn't got yet. What big game has he won? Besides playing a competitive first half at Alabama.
Yeah.
I don't think we can just give him an elite quarterback status yet. If we're doing that, then we're going to have to give plenty of other quarterbacks that same status, okay? There's plenty of quarterbacks who played close first halves of Bama. I get he got hurt, but I got Texas. First of all, the spread that was released yesterday is 3.5 for Texas. If Oklahoma doesn't have Dylan Gabriel, do you guys really think they're going to be able to move the ball at all? Like, he's kind of their whole team right now. Because they don't have an elite receiver like they used to. The O-line isn't elite. The run game isn't that great. A terrible defense. Yeah, Bijan Robinson, who we haven't even mentioned for Texas. So, yeah, I'm going to take Texas, and I think it's going to be bad.
Fair enough. What about you, Brad? Who are you riding in with in that game? Let's do a little preview into that game.
Yeah, I've got to go with Texas here, man. If Quinn Ewers comes back or if he doesn't, I just think that Oklahoma, it's time to hit the reset button. I think they are moving in a very downward spiral right now as a program. But I think Texas is still beatable. We've seen years where one team could be 4-3, and the other one's 7-0, and it's still a competitive game. I still think Oklahoma will come out pretty competitive. I think they'll be fired up because of the rivalry game, but there's no way after what you just saw last week, there's no way you could really pick Oklahoma unless you're just a homer. If you're a Sooner fan, I just don't see this going their way at all. I think they're probably going to lose, like Landon said, probably 3 or 4 scores. It'll be pretty ugly.
All right. Brad, Landon, no. Debo, go ahead. Who you like in that game? Texas, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm gonna go with.
I'm definitely not picking Oklahoma. Oklahoma, they literally lost their entire coach, not their entire coaching staff, but you lost pretty much the core of your team last year. So I'm not really too high on them.
All right, fair enough. Brad, coming to you on this one. If you're Sarkisian with Quinn Ewers coming off an injury, are you sticking with Hudson Card for that game, or are you going Quinn Ewers?
Oh man, here's what I think. If you want Texas fans to be really excited, you throw out the possibility of Quinn Ewers playing, so they all come to the game. But I'm going with Hudson Card. I think that you play it safe. I think you're the better team. I think let's give it the first half. If for whatever reason the first half Texas looks abysmal or something, you know what, you got to roll with your guy. But other than that, I would play it safe in this one. I don't think they need Quinn Ewers to win this game. Personally, I think they're the better football team on both sides.
For sure, Landon. What do you think? Would you stick with the hot hand Hudson Card, or are you going with the new boy Quinn Ewers off an injury?
21 for 27, 303 yards, 11.2 averaging yards per pass with 3 touchdowns.
My high school stat record. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Basically, that was Hudson Card's stat line against a Big 12 opponent. So, I like Hudson Card a lot. I think you got to go with what Brad said. Just give a little hype about a maybe, and maybe start with Hudson Card. Now, if Hudson Card looks really bad, it's perfect. It's like a couple of years ago with Spencer, like last year with Spencer Rattler and Caleb Williams. So now I do expect because usually this game's a shootout. So I would love to see a shootout, but I don't know how that would happen without Oklahoma's quarterback. So if you got Hudson Card, look for it to be more of a ground and pound type game, which is something that we haven't seen from these two in a very, very long time.
Yeah, fair enough. Couldn't agree more there. All right. Devo, my question to you is, let's dive into the SEC East. I'm going to get to you, the Big Ten guy, first, before we get into the two SEC guys down below. Here we go. Can Kentucky or Tennessee compete with Georgia in the SEC East this year?
Tennessee, yeah, for sure. Definitely. Everyone's kind of giving Georgia a bad rap off that Missouri game, but it is what it is. They're familiar opponents. They play each other pretty much damn near every year. So, you kind of expect it to be a dogfight, but I'd rather them face adversity now than later in the season. And Stetson Bennett looked them straight in the face, and he said, "Hey, I'm going to come back and get this dub," and look what he did. But, Tennessee's a good team. That's the only other team I think that could rival them.
No, fair enough. I like it, man. So Tennessee's your team that can keep up? You don't think Kentucky can do it, Devo?
Kentucky, I don't know. Kentucky's cool, but they're not really I don't know. Tennessee's like that.
All right, fair enough. Moving to the Kentucky fan, Brad, who do you like between Kentucky or Tennessee, and can either one of them keep up with Georgia this year?
Obviously, if you've watched the last couple games with Georgia, they're not unbeatable. They definitely have some weaknesses on their defense, which I thought they didn't. I thought this season was going to be a lot different. I also noticed something with Stetson Bennett, whereas last year they just needed Stetson Bennett not to lose them a game. They actually need Stetson Bennett this year to win a game. If he doesn't play well, they are very pedestrian. They don't run the ball. It's not a balanced offense. I think they are beatable. I don't think they'll lose to Tennessee because I think there's a mental gap there. I think Tennessee gets in their own head when they play against Georgia. But I do think Tennessee can hang. I think Kentucky can hang with Georgia. I think physically on the line, that's going to be where I think Georgia will have their advantage the most with Kentucky. I think if we can turn our turnovers, like if we can just maybe cut those in half, I don't think Georgia's unbeatable. I think if Georgia played right now against Tennessee, I actually think Tennessee might be a home favorite by like a couple points. I don't know how you can say that Kentucky doesn't have a shot when they beat Florida by 10 on the road and Tennessee beat Florida at home by 5. I don't really know where the little – I don't know if maybe you just don't watch the Cats play, but that's understandable. Kentucky's still one of those teams that needs to earn their respect, and so rightfully so. I think right now I would give the edge to Tennessee. I think both teams could definitely compete with Georgia. I also think Missouri, no one expected the Missouri game to be a close game. Like, they're literally one of the worst teams in the conference. Georgia is literally the number 1 team in the entire country. They had a slow start against Kent State. You would have expected them to be like, all right, let's put that behind us, come out here and fire on all cylinders and move on. But they didn't look good. I mean,
did we just lose Brad?
May have.
Just mayhem.
All right, Landon, go ahead. Brad, if you can get back in, call back. Try to have to go back into the show, use the link again, and we'll get you back on. Landon, go ahead. Who do you like in the SECs? Give Georgia a game.
Yeah, I gotta say Tennessee, just because they're the only team that hasn't lost a game. I do think Kentucky and Florida can both play with them because of what I saw this last week from Georgia. What you saw this last week was classic Tennessee, Kentucky. Everyone in the SEC was watching that game against Missouri. And do you know what the one thing they got out of that game was, Dylan?
What's up? What'd they get?
Georgia's human.
Yeah.
They are very beatable because when a bottom 2 team in the SEC can put you in a game in the fourth quarter, that's not a good sign. Stetson Bennett the last 2 games against Kent State and Missouri, 0 touchdowns and interception. Like I said before, I don't think he's an elite quarterback. I think it's been proven. And we got to understand, these aren't elite defenses. This is Missouri and Kent State who are getting pressure on him. Outside of Brock Bowers and the other tight end, the offense looks like it's very, very stale right now. I think they've gone cold. Now they can pick it up. They'll have a chance to. But, I mean, it just doesn't – I don't like Georgia at all right now. I think right now Georgia's not – I can name 4 teams who could beat Georgia right now in the country. I think Michigan can beat them. I think Ohio State can beat them. I think Clemson can beat them. Clemson's defense is really, really, really good. Clemson's defense gets pressure on the quarterback. All 4 of those teams. In Bama, all 4 of those teams get pressure on the quarterback. Georgia didn't. So, I mean, I don't know, man. It wasn't pretty. I think we're starting to see how human Stetson is, and we're starting to see how hard it is to repeat. Repeating in college football is not an easy task. That's why it hasn't happened in a very, very long time. Because Georgia lost a lot off the defense, lost a couple guys off the offense. It's tough to do it. The question about Kentucky, Brad, I disagree with you. I think Kentucky has earned a lot of respect because of how well they succeeded the last few years. Mark Stoops has absolutely turned that program around. He's a great coach. I think, look, you got to look at the Ole Miss Kentucky game. It's a 1-score game. Okay. You realize they gave away 5 points in the kicking game. You know, they had a kickoff return that would have been a touchdown if his own teammate didn't trip him.
Don't make me relive it. Don't make me relive it.
Turnovers in the final 4 minutes and a turnover on downs before that play. And they had a penalty negated on the go-ahead touchdown. And lost by 1 score. Kiffin knows he stole that one. He knows he did. I still think Kentucky's a great team, and Georgia's got to go to Kentucky. This isn't at Missouri. This is at Kentucky. This will be Georgia's only true road test of the whole year. They get Tennessee at their place. Florida's neutral. Not only tough game, they have to go to Kentucky late in the year. Kentucky will figure it out. I love the running back, Chris Rodriguez. You watch Missouri's running back run all over Georgia. Chris Rodriguez will do a lot more than that kid can. And
I also want to add one more thing, and I want to give a little bit of props to Kentucky's defense. We just went our first 2 SEC games were both road games, and we held both of those teams at home to I don't think Florida or Ole Miss scored a touchdown in the second half, which against Lane Kiffin, that almost never happens. And, at the Swamp, it's just a hard place to play. I think Georgia right now would have issues scoring on Kentucky. I think that they're a one-dimensional offense without Stetson Bennett, and I think we can hold Georgia to a low-scoring affair. And I think Will Levis will figure out the turnover problems. I think our O-line needs to improve. I do think Kentucky has a shot to beat Georgia. I think if you've been watching a lot of the SEC East, I think you see right now Tennessee and Kentucky could both beat Georgia, or they could both lose. It's very toss-up right now. I agree with Landon.
Also, do you remember last week we were just before we move on, Dylan? Last week we sat here and we picked our conference champs, and I sat here and said I like Bama and Tennessee in the SEC championship, and you two laughed at me.
Well, yeah.
Debo, when I said that,
we all thought Georgia
it looks a lot more real now, doesn't it?
Yeah, right.
Right now.
And not really. We'll see.
So you don't think Georgia should be worried at all?
Not really.
Hayden Hooker's him, bro. Hayden Hooker's nice. Look, it's Tennessee. They'll probably blow it. But I'd be nervous because, look, if you win the SEC East, that's great. But you know what your reward is? You got to play, that team in Tuscaloosa. So, I don't know.
You got to play Auburn.
Yeah. You got to play right now it's looking like freaking Ole Miss. Jesus.
Oh, my gosh.
Bama's got to go to Ole Miss this year. I'm telling y'all, Ole Miss is not bad. If teams can steal games like that at home, it's scary. But, yeah.
All right, moving on to one more college topic. We're going to get into the guy that I cannot believe got fired yesterday. Paul Christ, University of Wisconsin, kind of a legendary head coach there. He's done an incredible job. Wisconsin's been the team to beat in the Big Ten West the entire time he's been there. And you got the candidate after being 2-3, after losing to Ohio State in one of those losses. Yes, Illinois is a tough loss, but Illinois is kind of a tough team this year. They're kind of a tough out. Debo, do you think Paul Christ should have been fired as Wisconsin's head coach?
Sure. I don't care about Wisconsin coach.
I love it, dude. Debo, you're the man. I love it. All
right.
right.
I don't really care about coaches like that, except for the elite coaches. I care about players. Except for Saban and like a few other coaches, it is what it is. Players are what make the plays. Coaches draw it up.
Fair enough. Brad, what's your take on the Paul Christ firing?
I was very, very shocked by this. I think Paul Christ, honestly, for the latter part of my lifetime, has been a great coach. He's got a 67-26 record. He's been to 3 Big Ten championship games. He's got 7 bowl wins, and he's been a Big Ten Coach of the Year 2 times. And so, like, you don't usually see programs get rid of a legendary coach early on in the season. I will say this though: if you've watched, I almost said Minnesota. If you watch Wisconsin this year, they look like a different team than they've been in the past. Their run game isn't as dominant. When they're losing games kind of embarrassingly. And I think there comes a point where you have to evaluate and you have to respect what a coach has done for you in the past, but you have to say, is this the coach that's going to take us to the next level? I mean, but if it's not him, who's it going to be? I mean, not to
Urban
be rude.
Meyer.
I mean, maybe Urban, but I think you let a guy like him finish out his last season. I think you call a meeting, say, hey, coach, we're going to buy you out. We love you. We respect what you've done for us, but it doesn't look like we're going to the next level. And you kind of part ways respectfully. Firing a guy 4 games into the year, man, 5 games, that's a tough look. But I will say Wisconsin has not looked very competitive. And when they've lost, that loss to Illinois, man, that was rough. Against Brett Bielema, that was a tough one to watch. So, yeah, I think it was a bad idea. I respect what Paul Christ has done, but I do understand why they did it. I get it.
Definitely. Landon, what's your take on Paul Christ? I don't know what it is, but it's one of the 2.
Bo Pelini. You know who that is? The Nebraska.
Oh, yeah. Every Nebraska fan is a Bo Pelini, brother.
No, you know who that is, Bo Pelini? How do we feel about him, Nebraska? How do we feel about him?
Wild ending to his long career at Nebraska.
But you love him, though, right?
Oh, of course. I mean, yeah, he's
He went 66 and 27 at Nebraska.
yeah, no, he did a
Paul
heck of a
Price,
job.
his senior, went 67 and 26.
Holds the cat up before the spring game. Yeah, absolutely.
Literally, yeah. Well, Paul Price had a better record. Bo Pelini did at Wisconsin than at Nebraska.
Yeah.
It kind of blew my mind to see that. This is his tenure at Wisconsin. Here's his records: 10-3, 11-3, 13-1, 8-5, 10-4, 4-3 in 2020. But Debo said that doesn't count because it's COVID year.
Does he have it?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
And then 9-4 last year. And this year he's lost what? 2 games, 3 games? But still, yeah.
They're 2-3, aren't they, or something like that?
Yeah, you send him out. He got fired for 67 wins, third all time in Badgers history, only 1 game behind the next guy. Also, he's won 3 Big West titles and 2 New York Six Bowls and 2-time Big Ten Coach of the Year. And you can him, but that's not what I'm mad about. Who are you going to get? That's going to be better. Do we really think Urban Meyer is going to be that much better than this guy? Do we think that they can get a candidate who's just so much better than Paul Price? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because if you're not going for Urban Meyer, if you're not going for the big name guys, if they hire, and the worst part, this dude went to Wisconsin. He's an alumni. They did him dirty.
Wisconsin's a huge program, even historically. They should be able to get somebody huge. They really should.
But if they don't, if they
Yeah,
get
that's a
somebody
terrible,
else,
terrible look. They should call
it's
him right back and say, hey, we're just kidding. Like, well, please come back, please.
And the locker room's divided already. There's been players who are upset that he got fired. It's not a good look for Wisconsin at all.
I wonder how many transfers will come out of Wisconsin to go some other places now that Paul's gone. I bet there'll be quite a few of them. You know, they have there's a team right down the road, just a state away. They'll take all of them. Come on. And if they can get their oars out too, we can get rowing. All right, let's dive into the world of NFL football. We're going to go into NFL. We're going to recap a couple of games. I'm going to ask you guys some questions about the games, and then we will get into Guess the College and Kenny Pickett. Before we get into Kenny Pickett, we're going to go into the Bills and the Ravens. It was a heck of a game, potentially the game of the week. My question for you, Debo, are these 2 teams the top 2 teams in the AFC, the Ravens and the Bills?
I wouldn't put the Ravens up there. I would definitely say the Bills are. Ravens, I don't know. When it comes to Lamar in late games, it seems like you can't really trust Lamar late in the game. He likes to throw a lot of interceptions in clutch moments sometimes. Ravens, I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about them. Bills, yes, for sure, but I can't really put the Ravens up there. No.
Fair enough. Brad, who do you think? Who do you like better in the other 2 teams, and are they the top 2 teams in the AFC?
I think the Bills are definitely a top team in the AFC. I do not think the Ravens are a top team. I definitely think they're probably top 5. It seems to me that the Ravens just find ways to lose big games. It's been the MO around Lamar Jackson since he's been in the league. And, you know, even going back to their playoff history, it's just kind of been it's just been so deflating for their franchise. But they're still a good team. I mean, they're missing a lot of – they don't have a lot of targets on offense. Lamar's doing a lot of what he's doing on his own. I think Jim Harbaugh is actually more to blame for this loss. Or is it Jim or John? I always forget.
John's at the Ravens. Jim is trying to turn it around, yeah.
I think John Harbaugh is probably more to blame for this loss because I think he should have kicked the field goal and 100%. Made Buffalo play for the points instead of just for an easy chip shot. But I definitely think the Bills are the best team in the AFC. I think that Josh Allen, man, I don't know what it is about the Bills in the second half of football games. It's like they just come to life. And when they're playing up tempo, they hit emotion, and it's just like a well-oiled machine. They're very hard to stop. We got a good running game. We got obviously, I think, the best quarterback in the league this year. And I mean, who's going to beat them? Who are we really thinking is going to beat them when it's all on the line? I know Landon's probably got an answer to that question.
I got a couple answers for that question.
I'm riding with the Billy Boys right now. I think they're the best team in the AFC. Yes.
All right, Landon, go quick.
Quickly. Ravens are
top 3. We have a lot of games to get to.
I think the Ravens are still a top 3 team in the AFC. I do. I mean, they've lost to the Dolphins, who are playing really hot on the road. The Dolphins with Tua are just as good as the Ravens. They're very competitive both ways. But if you're the Ravens, you're stoked. Yesterday was great. You played a competitive game against the Bills. Your defense held the Bills to 23 points. That's really good. Your offense, they were up 20-3 at one point. It feels like Harbaugh got really, really conservative with his play call after that, and that was the issue. You can't do that with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson had a great game, I thought. He was 20 for 29. He had 2 interceptions. One of them was a 4th and goal from the 2. He had to throw up. So, those are those I don't like. They really didn't have a design play at the end. I didn't like that at all. I would like to have seen something to Mark Andrews or maybe Bateman. I think he got hurt, though, so it couldn't really go to him. But, yeah, I would like to I like the decision to go for it because of this. It's a regular season game. If you're in the playoffs, kick a field goal. Make Josh Allen beat you. If not, go into overtime and play for that. But if it's regular season, always go for the win. You go for, hey, make them beat you. And, but, yeah, the best team and the only team right now that I think can beat the Bills is the boys in Kansas City. Andy Reid last night, a Tampa Bay defense who is just, done great all year. Everyone was saying the best defense in the league. You just watched Andy Reid slice them to pieces. It was beautiful. The things that the plays that Patrick Mahomes made last night, probably not. I'm not betting my money on that, Debo. But dude, Andy Reid can be coach of the year, dude. I think, because you're taking a team who's lost a lot of weapons. And I'm telling you, the defense played great. It was probably one of the best coach games I've seen from Andy Reid in a very, very long time. Because the final score was by 10, should have been a lot more. But I like the Chiefs right now against the Bills, just because the Bills do have a lot of injuries in their secondary.
Fair enough. Moving on to the Titans and the Colts. It's not usually a very big game. I mean, it kind of is. These are the top 2 teams in the division. But on this show, the Colts mean a little more. So my question, first and foremost, is I guess hit both of these at the same time if you can. Is the Titans offense back after they looked really like Derrick Henry was finally doing his thing on was that last night? And also, are the Colts finally dead? To you, Debo, going first.
Derrick Henry had a great game. 22 carries, 114 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 receptions, 33 yards. Basically carried that team. Can't say enough good things about him. Other than the Titans started to lose steam real quick, though. They started to lose steam real quick towards the end of the game. I think if you see DeForest Buckner in there, changes that a little bit in the run game. If you see Darius Leonard in there, changes that a little bit. On the other hand, though, even though they played from behind, Matt Ryan was throwing absolute missiles. Like he had that 1 interception, not a good pass, but other than that, every other receiver on the team averaged about 10 yards of reception for the game. Dude was throwing missiles.
That got me. He's throwing absolute missiles. That was pretty good. I like that. That was funny. I could hold it in. That was good.
But no, Jonathan Taylor and that offensive line need to step up. They haven't really got him going yet like that. I feel like that's the biggest part of their offense. But again, you get them going and you get your starting defense back, and I think you're solid.
Fair enough. What's your take on the game? Landon, coming to you. The Titans back offensively, and what's your take on the Colts?
This is going to be the chippiest division in football. Like the most dirtiest, grinded out division in football. Titans are still the favorites. I still think they're going to win. When you have 38 total rushing yards as a team for the Colts, and you have Jonathan Taylor in your backfield, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, not
at all. He had 20 carries. He had plenty of chances. Matt Ryan, his job is not to win games. It's to take care of the ball. When the defense gets back, let them do their thing, and trust Jonathan Taylor. Ryan Tannehill did a great job taking care of the ball yesterday. Derrick Henry did great. The only thing is the Titans can't – that neither one of these teams are deep threats right now. The second half, there's only one touchdown scored. It was by the Colts, and that was it. It was a very ugly game. The Titans probably the worst second-half team in the NFL right now. They had to come back against the Giants, almost blew it against the Raiders. They're just not a very good second-half team. Teams are figuring them out. So if they don't get something figured out soon in the passing game, you can see one of these teams pass the Titans thing.
They should have never got rid of A.J. Brown. That was the dumbest move they could have made.
Yeah, I'm sure Brad's not too mad about that.
No, and
I don't think Brad's too upset.
No, absolutely. It's actually a perfect question to ask because our next game we're touching on is the Jaguars at the Eagles. It was a fun game to watch. Trevor Lawrence blew it at the end, but it's okay. He's a young quarterback. He'll figure it out. My question to you guys is one, is Jacksonville finally people think they're legit? Because I do. And are the Eagles the best team in the NFC? As of right now, I think they are. They look like the best team. Debo, what's your take on that game? And are the Eagles the best in the NFC?
Where are my notes? Okay. I mean, I thought so. I thought towards the end of the game, I thought it was a sloppy game for the Jaguars. I thought that did you guys see that play where Trevor Lawrence rolled out and fumbled the ball off his thigh? Did you guys see that? That was a bad look. It seemed like he was getting pressured a lot. He kept getting the ball stripped out of his hands. Like, just consistently, that's what was happening. Other than that, I thought the Eagles just played a solid game. Down at first, but Jalen Hurts looked good, dude. His confidence in the pocket is, he's looking good, bro. I definitely want him as my quarterback right now if I'm the Eagles for sure. They look good.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I'm encouraged by how well the Jaguars started in that game. They came out rolling, and then it was Jalen Hurts bringing them back, which is very impressive as well. That's why I'm high on the Eagles, and they smoked the Vikings. Brad Perry, known Eagles fan. What's your take on that game, and are they the best team?
First of all, I do think the Jags are legit. I think they're actually a really good football team. I think they're more of your ground and pound team this year that will play good defense, keep the game low scoring, and usually probably pull out the victory. What I was encouraged with this week with Philly is we've seen them like come out to really big leads and kind of coast. But I was waiting to see how will Jalen Hurts and our offense look in a sloppy, ugly game where you have to really milk it out. And I think one thing I was waiting on was to see the running game kind of take shape. And that was a big thing we saw this week was you're waiting on more balance where it's not just Jalen Hurts running every single play. We're waiting on Miles Sanders to kind of have his really like breakout performance this year. And it was awesome because if you guys know, most teams that are really good contenders, they'll find ways to win ugly games, even in the rain, even when your superstar is not having to throw 300-plus yards. And they did that. I think it would have been easy for the Eagles to find, an excuse here and maybe just like kind of call it quits at halftime. I think they really came out sloppy. But I was so encouraged with the way they fought and clawed and really just took the second half over. I mean, they dominated the second half of that game. And something that you're seeing more so now than ever, I think it's just becoming Lincoln Financial Field. The Eagles are playing like the best team in the league at home right now. Yeah. But I do want to give props to Jacksonville. I think they looked impressive. I was just so encouraged by the way the running game really took shape this week. And I also was just encouraged that the Eagles found a way that in a nasty, gritty game, they found a way to claw it out. Jalen Hurts protected the ball. It was a great game. But props to Trevor Lawrence, man. He looked like he's going to be a star here in a couple of years. He made a couple, early league mistakes, but I definitely am very encouraged by this game. And I do think the Eagles are the best team in the NFC at the moment.
Your guys' offensive line played pretty solid against which I feel like is a very good defensive line for Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah, I agree. It was.
Hey, Brad, do you like their coach? Jacksonville coach?
I love that man.
So there's no way. So you better say that. You got the Super Bowl.
Sometimes I miss him, but then I look at our play calling his last couple games, and I was just like, ooh, I don't know, man. But I love Doug. I love what he did for our franchise. I mean, he's a class act too. He's always respectful, very, very high. He's a very good moral guy. So you got to respect him around the league. I love Doug.
He had a tough act to follow coming into Jacksonville, but I'm glad to see he's held up to the hype. Yeah. Landon, what's your take on the game?
Jaguars suck. Eagles are good. I think the Jaguars came out, scored in the first drives. The pick six was a fluke. Jalen Hurts is not going to make that decision. I think the Eagles thought this was going to be a cupcake game at the start. If you take out the first quarter, it's a blowout by 3 touchdowns. I don't think the Jaguars are good at all. Trevor Lawrence was 11 for 23. He had a pick, only 2 touchdowns. I don't think he's good either. The rushing game that we're all talking about was so good. Nobody rushed for more than 33 yards. I don't think this is a good team at all. I don't see the hype. People are talking about how good Jacksonville is because they beat the Chargers, who are hurt, and we all know the Chargers don't win cupcake games. The Chargers play good in big games, and in games you're supposed to win, they usually don't compete very well. That's just how the Chargers have been the last 2 years. So I think the Eagles are really good. I like Jalen Hurts a lot. The X factor in games like this is when they don't have a second receiver who can help out A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith only had 3 catches for 17 yards. Dallas Goedert, 5 for 72. Miles Sanders, 2 for 22. But, at the end of the day, Jalen Hurts, he only had 1 pick. It was a pick 6. But outside of that, he took care of the ball. Thought he played great. Thought the run game was good. But if they want to be the best team in the NFC and they want to compete with, the Buccaneers, the Rams, all these teams that will get good at the end of the year, if they want to compete with those teams, then they got to have a number 2 receiver come alive. If they do, and to be consistent with it, then Philly's very, very scary.
Hey,
All right.
And the only one thing I gotta say is Dallas Goedert kind of almost sold the bag on that red zone play. That was kind of a big play right there.
Yeah.
My goodness.
But it was pouring rain the entire game. I mean, it was a tough game, tough conditions to play in. All right, the last thing I want to get into for NFL-wise is we got to talk about this man. His rookie debut is Kenny Pickett in Pittsburgh, and boy, did he show out. It was hilarious watching the fans. A couple of things they did right. The fans were cheering so loud because they wanted Mitch Trubisky gone so bad, and he's a Pittsburgh guy, but his debut was atrocious. It was absolutely horrible. Devo, what was your take on it? And is there anything you want to talk about with Kenny Pickett in Pittsburgh? And where do the Pittsburgh Steelers go from here now that they benched their starter for this new guy? And what a terrible start they had. Where do they go?
Well, that was the one game I did not get to watch because I was at work. What were his stats?
3 interceptions in the debut and 0 touchdowns.
Did he run for like 2 touchdowns or something like that?
No.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. He did. And when he scored his first one, the place went bananas. It was nuts watching him.
I gotta look at this. This is funny.
All right, Brad, go ahead. While Devo's looking.
Were his interceptions bad though? Because he was 10 for 13. The only 3 passes he missed were interceptions. Were they?
Yeah, I saw some meme or something. He has an incompleted pass in his debut.
But did you watch the game? Were the interceptions his fault, or were they like off his receiver's hands?
One of them was. One of them wasn't. Two of them were.
Gotcha.
It was
His first game.
I will say this real fast. I think that it's awesome because I think Pittsburgh fans, this might be the first time that they're not going to be as hard on a guy because they just like him. I think they finally found somebody other than Big Ben that they actually love. That's why you saw such a big ovation when he scored his first touchdown. This is their homegrown guy. I think they'll be more patient with him. I don't think they should have thrown him in there like so soon. I think Kenny Pickett needed a little bit more time. I'm still a believer that he'll find his way. I don't blame him for most of the mistakes. Pittsburgh's offensive line is horrendous. I don't know if you guys saw Big Ben his last year. It was awful to watch. But I just like it because it finally feels like Pittsburgh's got their guy that's going to succeed, Big Ben. They're rolling with him. And you know what? I guess we'll see from here. I don't think his debut was good at all, but I think there's more to be. If you're a Pittsburgh fan, you can be excited from what you saw, like little glimpses of hope there. I think he's got a good upside.
Yeah, I think Kenny Pickett's a great rusher. I like what I saw. I mean, he was 10 for 13, 120 yards. He did have 3 picks. But you got to look at the bright side. Pittsburgh's not playing for right now. They're playing for the future. Especially with the Bengals being good this year, the Ravens being good this year, the Browns, they're 2-2, but they'll be competitive when Deshaun Watson gets back, I believe. You're not going to win the division this year. You're just not. It's not going to happen with Pittsburgh. So you're getting ready for next year or the next year. You're trying to get Kenny Pickett in there because, listen, the Steelers are not a bad team at all. They have a great defense. T.J. Watt is still hurt, right? Didn't he tear his pec or something crazy? So I mean, you're not playing for right now. You're playing for next year, I believe, with this team. But yeah.
Did you guys see the J.J. Watt thing? Now that you said you brought up T.J. Watt, J.J. Watt, they're playing this off said he wouldn't. This man basically was having a heart attack.
Yeah.
And still playing the game.
Yeah.
That
That's the most CJ Watt thing I've ever heard. JJ Watt thing I've ever heard in my life.
for real.
Full of grit, boys.
His
Full of grit.
post game conference though, did you see that? It kind of got me tearing up a little bit. That was pretty. That was emotional for sure.
Wild. Well, Landon, do you have to run, or are you able to talk on
Yeah.
one more segment?
I have to. I think I have to get out of here.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Landon,
But
thank you for riding on this ship, but we'll bring it home for you.
Bring it home. I'll watch the rest of it later. Roll Tide.
Make sure you
Roll
order your
Roll
Stetson
Tide, roll.
I'll see you guys Friday. We're gonna have a great show Friday because of all the college football this weekend. And I'm gonna drop this weekend. I'm gonna drop one of the hottest takes any of you have ever seen. Dylan Bloodham will throw up. That's all I'm saying. I'll see you boys Friday. Okay.
All
right.
Thank you, bro.
God, he's gone. No, I'm just kidding. But all right, real quick, I got to dive into one more game that I want to get into because you guys are good with me. The Cowboys and the Commanders game. I have to talk about this game, and I have two questions for you. First things first, is Cooper Rush deserved to have a starting job in the NFL? And the second one is it time for Carson Wentz to join the XFL? Because this is pathetic, and I'm a Wentz fan, but it's the same story with every team he's on, minus the 1 year he's MVP year. It's the same story. You don't know what you're getting. It's every single year. Brad, what's your take on it?
I'll go with Carson first. I love him. Like
I know,
am
so do I.
a through and through Carson Wentz fan. I've loved him since he was at NDSU. I love him with the Eagles, but man, there's just something not there. I mean, he's a good backup at this point. He's very inconsistent with his decision making. His stat line is horrendous more times than it's even average. And it just at this point it just seems like why does he keep getting shots? He's not the same player. That injury that he had, and was it the game against Atlanta? Was it Atlanta that he injured his knee? I forgot who we were
Did he
playing.
get hurt?
When he was with Philly, that last game before the playoffs started.
We
it
dove
was
into
the
the end zone.
Rams.
Yeah,
It was the Rams.
dove into the end zone. Here's me. Yeah, that's right.
He's never been the same player since. It's
Yeah,
been
right.
sad to watch because I love him, I respect him, but at this point, I do think it's time that maybe his days as a starting quarterback are probably over. As also, I want to just throw in Cooper Rush, man. All right, hot take here. Because I watch the NFC East. I watch every NFC East game because I'm an Eagles fan. I want to see these other teams. I think Dallas, with the return of Michael Gallup, I think they're better with Cooper Rush than they are with Dak Prescott. And hear me out. Here's the reason. I think Dak Prescott, since he got his contract, I think there's a lot of pressure on him. I think the way Dak Prescott got his job in Dallas is the same way that Cooper Rush is about to have his job. You come out and you win when the other quarterback was struggling. And I do think that for some reason it just feels like Dallas plays a lot more confident, and they play loose when they have Cooper Rush. It's a lot more of a downfield threat there. I don't feel like Dak Prescott throws the ball down the field much, and when he does, it's not very accurate. I think these guys actually love playing with Cooper Rush. I think he's opened up the running game as well, and you can't argue with stats, man. 223 yards, 2 touchdowns, is 4-0 as a starter with a 107.5 QBR.
Yeah.
Sounds like a starting quarterback to me. And
No,
I
definitely.
mean, he hasn't lost a game. Personally, I would be more afraid as an Eagles fan if we played Cooper Rush in Dallas than if we played Dak. And I know people are not going to agree with that, but I've been watching every Cowboys game, because they're in our division. I like Cooper Rush. He's confident. He plays with so much swagger. Like, you don't see that much with guys that are taking over for franchise quarterbacks. He does not care. That man's just going out and having fun. He's playing football. I love it. I think he's awesome. I like him.
Heck yeah. What about you, Debo?
I was gonna ask, did you see that clip I sent you about Jason Brown talking about wins?
No.
Dude, he makes
Watch this Kyler hate. He hates Kyler, but
he makes some. Towards the end of the game, they literally not the Commanders, but the Cowboys sent like 3 people. That was it. Everyone else dropped into coverage, and instead of stepping up in the pocket, Wentz just backpedals He literally every time he gets pressured, backpedals and just throws it into the dirt. Like he never steps up in the pocket. He makes the most he has the most suspect decision making I've ever seen right now. I don't understand. He thinks every play needs to be a home run ball or something. Like he's got to make something happen with every play instead of
I just think he wants it so bad.
Exactly. I don't know what his problem is, but I feel like he's just in his head and I don't know. He needs something.
It's the same thing in Indy. He just wants the win so bad. He tries to will it so hard, and he just wills it so hard into quicksand. And the harder he fights, the quicker he goes. It really is. But XFL will take you, Carson Wentz. If you watch this show, which I'm sure you do every week, I'm telling you right now, the XFL, they'll take you in.
Oh God.
I'll look it up. I know The Rock. I'll look it up. No.
Is Andrew Luck's dad still the commissioner for that, or
what's up?
Was that it was Andrew Luck's dad the commissioner of the XFL or the AAL or whatever, the AFL?
Didn't The Rock take over the XFL?
He owns it, but is
The Rock
his dad might be the commissioner over it or something.
I remember. I don't know if you guys seen the show Ballers, but it's but basically you became ballers in real life. You owned the football league. It was kind of wild, he was a TV show character, and then he became that person in real life by buying an XFL team and running it. All right.
Oh my God.
Enough about The Rock. We're talking about football. Yeah, about the whole league. Right. All right. Moving on. I can't not have you two on, and I'm not going to do NFL trivia. Why would I do that for our game? We're going Guess the College. It has to happen. We got 3 guys here that like college football. I put up a terrible one. I don't know if you've seen it, Brad. The last time we did this, the last show, Debo quizzed me, and I did not do very well. So, keep it lightly and not go crazy. All right. First question. So I have these for Landon too, but he's not on, so I have to I'll maneuver it around. But I'm going to go to Debo first, and I'm going to go with future Hall of Famer offensive lineman Jason Peters.
Oh,
I know I should know this too.
Power 5 school.
You said it's not a Power 5 school, or it is?
It is a Power 5.
Oh my goodness.
Brad, you're coming for the steal, and I'll keep giving you guys more information as we go.
Give me a hint of the conference. I'm trying to think right now.
SEC.
It wasn't. Why am I'm spacing on I'm spacing on an SEC team right now. Is this South Carolina? Is this South Carolina?
No. Ooh. SEC West, I believe. If that helps.
Is it Arkansas?
It is Arkansas.
That's who it is. Oh, I was thinking of the colors. I was trying to think of the colors. I couldn't think of the name right now.
I'd have been so disappointed if I got that wrong.
All right.
I knew that too. He's a racist.
There's really no correlation on these. I kind of just threw it together as the show was going on today because I didn't come prepared. Yeah. So, to you, Brad, another legend that's going to be a Hall of Famer, Michael Strahan.
Ooh.
This one kind of surprised me.
Is he Power 5 or is he? I feel like he's like an HBCU.
Heck no.
All right, let me think on this one.
All right, this is a tough one. I probably should have made it like a bonus question, but I'm just going on my list.
Is it an FCS or FBS?
I think they're HBCU.
I want to say is it Howard?
No, it's like a state. It's like a state, and then like a thing with it. It's kind of like I don't know how to describe it. Like it has a state in the name.
Hey, Debo, go off, man.
It's an HBCU, right?
I don't know. I don't know HBCU.
I think it is.
I don't know, dude.
He says, I don't know, dude.
I don't know,
dude. Bunch of non-lunch pail guys.
Man.
What is the first letter of it? I can't think of it.
All right. So it starts with a T.
I know. Oh. This is
I don't know a thing about this school. And
Wow, I'm so disappointed in myself. I have no idea.
Brad, you spent some time at this state for a little while.
Tennessee State.
No.
No, because they played they played a big school in the bowl game.
Is it Texas State?
No, but it's
what?
I'll give you guys both one more guess.
It's
goes first.
Texas. It's in Texas.
It is Texas. It's a Texas school. I'll get Debo first, then Brett.
I think I know it. Actually, I think I know it.
I can't think of like the first word. I don't know. You say I don't know. I can't think of the first word.
Is it Tarleton State?
No.
Oh, come on.
All right, you guys don't know. It's a tough one. It's Texas Southern. I have no idea about the school.
Yeah, Texas Southern. Yeah, that's what it was. Texas Southern.
All right. Coming to you, Debo.
All right.
A little bit easier one. Jordan Poyer. Buffalo Bills safety, I think. Yeah.
SEC?
No. Power 5, though. Pac-12.
Oh, he went to I want to say it's WashU or Washington State, maybe.
No. Brad, do you have one?
I'm gonna say Arizona.
No, I'm gonna give you guys one more guess. I'm gonna give Debo a clue. I used Brad in the last one. I'm gonna use Debo for this one.
Oregon State Beavers.
He got it. I was gonna say a lot of Nebraska players go to this school.
I was trying to think at first. I couldn't think of the mascot, but no, yeah, Oregon State.
I think it's 1-1 here. We got 1-1 going into the round for Brad. Here we go. Here we go. This one might be easy. I can't give it. I'm going to go ahead and give it to Brad, though. Rex Burkhead.
Ooh. He's either a Minnesota or Nebraska guy. I know that. Is it Nebraska?
It is Nebraska.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. I know you like Rex Burkhead, so I was like, it's either got to be one of those two.
All right. Debo. I can't give you that one. That one's too easy for you. I'll go Ben Roethlisberger to Debo.
Miami, Ohio.
Yeah, that one's easy. Because I gave Brad one that we all should know. I had to give that one to the show. All right. Brad, coming to you. Orlando Pace, another Hall of Famer.
Orlando Pace.
Ooh, is he?
Offensive tackle, one of the best in the 2000s.
This is a non-Power 5, right?
It's a Power 5.
Is it Ohio State?
It is Ohio State.
Okay. I had either Ohio State or Troy in my head.
That's funny.
All right. I think Brad's up 1, but Debo's coming in. Here we go. Debo, another legendary offensive tackle. 2000, Jonathan Ogden.
Oh, damn.
Power 5.
I want to say it's Big Ten, right?
No.
What? Jonathan Ogden. I'm thinking of Orlando Brown or whatever.
That's Oklahoma, right? That's Oklahoma, right?
Orlando Brown.
Bro, that's his name, right?
I think so. The guy from Oklahoma.
I'm thinking of the guy from That's So Raven.
Yeah, that too. Jonathan Ogden. I'm gonna go ahead and say Washington State.
No. Brad, do you have one for Jonathan Ogden?
Jonathan Ogden.
I'm sure you know a lot about your 2000s offensive linemen, but
I'm gonna go. You said Pac-12.
It is.
Let's roll with USC. Why not?
It's not USC.
Who is it?
It is UCLA.
Oh.
When you said Big Ten, I was like, how do I answer this? All right. Is it Brad's question? It is. I'm going to go with Julian Edelman.
Ooh, didn't he play at I know he was a smaller school guy.
He was.
He played quarterback, if I'm not mistaken.
Did.
It's either Eastern Washington or Eastern Illinois, right?
It is not either one of those two.
Is it
Debo.
West?
Kent State.
It is Kent State. It is.
Dang.
We have a tie ball game. Tie ball game. Brad.
Kent
I
State.
can't give this one to Debo, but Minnesota Vikings linebacker Eric Kendricks.
If you can't give it to Debo, it means he's from probably that part of the country.
I said that because he's a Vikings player.
Oh, give me a hint here, man.
Pac-12.
Pac-12.
Kendricks. I got nothing, man. I'm gonna give it a shot in the dark. Is it UCLA?
It is UCLA.
Wow.
It is
Him
UCLA.
and Anthony Barr were the two linebackers there that
They
year.
played together. Kendricks and Barr, the both Vikings linebackers played together. All right. Debo. Let's go back in the college books for this one. Another 2000s college player. Wide receiver, Mario Manningham.
Ooh, I know this one.
Dude. Oh, that's
I
not.
know this one.
I know Brad knows it. That's why I gave it to Debo.
Go
Oh,
Kentucky.
It's not. I'll give you one conference. It's the Big Ten.
Wait, what?
Mario Manningham went to the Big Ten. Brad, I know you're itching to steal this one.
Big Ten Legend or Big Ten Legends.
The Big Ten West.
yeah, Big Ten West.
No, East. East. I'm sorry.
Are you sure?
East. 100%.
I don't even know about East and West. I just know about Legends and whatever the other one is.
I don't know what that is. So I know what they are, but I just don't know. I don't know which one's which.
I think when he played at Michigan,
Legends is like Legends is like Nebraska and like all those, and then the other one's like Ohio State. Like Leaders is Ohio State. Like the
It's probably the Leaders.
Then it's the Leaders one.
Okay, we'll go Ohio State.
It's not.
Oh,
He literally just said the team, Debo. I don't know if you caught it, but it's tough. He said, "Go ahead, Brad."
Michigan,
It's
baby.
Michigan.
Yes,
I haven't
sir.
heard of Mario Manningham since
Dude, no.
for
I
at
feel
least
you.
12 years.
So
Did
my
he play for
second
the
favorite
Giants, or
team.
who did he play for?
He did.
He was Chad Henney's receiver, wasn't he?
Yeah.
That's wild.
I love Michigan. That's my second team, Debo. That's why he knew I would know.
That's
Love
wild.
me some Michigan.
All right. We'll get into one more for each of you, and then we'll do our bonus questions. I think Brad is up one. Who's up here? Is it? I'm gonna go. Is it Brad now?
Brad.
Brad. Shannon Sharp.
Savannah State. Come on,
That a
baby.
boy. He's up two.
Heck yeah.
And then Debo. Kind of an easier one. Devin Hester.
Miami.
All right.
Yeah, I forgot about
That was
Devin
too
Hester.
easy. One more each, then we'll get into the bonus question. Here we go. Brad. Eric Weddle.
Ooh, Eric Weddle. He's a Big Ten guy, right?
He's not. He's a Pac-12 guy.
Oh, I hate the Pac-12, man. I don't know any of these guys. Eric Weddle. Sounds like Waddle, so I'm gonna go with the Ducks because they waddle, man. Oregon.
I like that guess, but it is not the Ducks. Debo.
Sorry.
I like the logic though, by the way. I like it.
Can I look up the logos? I can't think of all the teams right now in the Pac-12. I can't think. Oh my god, I know who it is. I just can't think of it.
You got like Cal, Stanford. I can't even think of them all. Washington State,
That's what I'm
Washington,
saying.
Utah, Oregon.
I'll even show you my
Oregon
screen.
State.
I'm looking up Pac-12. I need to see the teams. I can't think of all of them.
Let me see. You're typing in. I see Weddle College. No, I'm just kidding. But,
Utah Utes.
It's Utah. So good job. Way to look it up. No, I'm just joking. But good job.
I couldn't think of all the teams in the Pac-12.
I got you.
I knew I was missing a couple teams.
All right. For the bonus question, I'm going to let Debo go first.
I knew it was a Utah school because I was going to say BYU, but I couldn't think of like what school it was. I had to like see the logo.
I got you. This is worth however many points. Let's say 5 points, just so Debo can win if he gets it. And then if Brad gets it, he wins overall if he's ahead. So Debo, actually, I'm gonna let Brad shoot. No, I'm not gonna do that. Here we go. Debo, you're first. Marquise Colston. These are not easy.
Not Power 5.
These are all very tough.
Not Power 5.
Not Power 5.
Marcus Colston. We're gonna have to go ahead and we're gonna have to say
FCS.
James Madison University.
No.
It's a good
Brad,
guess.
can you steal Brad?
Marcus Colston. Let's see here. Can you give me the part of the United States it's on?
I actually don't know. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go. Man,
Maybe you guys know that's right. I'm not sure where the school's located.
so you said FCS?
FCS. All of these bonus questions are FCS schools.
Ooh, Marcus Colston. Let's go with Florida A&M.
It is not. I have no idea where this school is. Hofstra. I've heard of it.
Oh yeah, it's up north.
I have no idea.
I never would have guessed that. No
Hofstra?
If someone pulls out Hofstra, bro, I'm walking away.
Yeah, you win. You win at life. You win forever.
They looked that up. If they said that they looked that up, there's nobody.
Yeah, no.
Anybody guesses that.
All right, coming to Brad to win the game.
Hofstra.
Number wide receiver, Vincent Jackson.
Ooh. Vincent Jackson. Oh man, what a name.
Also FCS. They're all FCS.
Do you know what part of the country this school is in?
I do.
Can you give it to me? You don't have to tell me the state. Is it just like is it west, east, north, or south?
It's not on either coast.
Okay.
There's technically 3 coasts, so it's not on all 3 coasts.
Any coast.
Okay.
That should give you a clue a little bit of where I'm talking about.
Vincent Jackson, I'm going to go.
South Dakota State University. No, I'm just kidding.
This is a good one. I don't know this one.
Let's go with. Someone's pulled me to Jackson State, but I don't think that's it. Let's go with Idaho State.
Nope. Debo.
DeQuesne.
No.
Wesley Duquesne.
Like DeKent.
Or is that how it's pronounced? I don't
DeKent.
know.
Yeah, it's DeKent.
I don't know.
That was awesome. Duquesne. Where did he go to school at?
Northern Colorado.
Oh,
I knew that. I actually knew that too. God, I knew that. I actually did know that too.
All right.
God.
I got 2 more. We got to finish one of these off. If we don't get it, then I'm just gonna have to give you an easier one. Here we go. Is it Debo?
Yeah.
Defensive back, Cortland Finnegan.
Ooh.
Southeast region of the United States.
Yeah. This is gonna be like University of like Tennessee, Chattanooga or something. I don't know.
It's not them. He did not play with Terrell Owens. Brad.
Did he play at oh, I can feel it. Because I used to look this up all the time.
It's a Southeast school, but it's not the Southeast Conference. Nowhere near.
I think it's at HBCU.
I mean, he's a white guy, so I don't know.
Cortland Finnegan?
Cortland
Yeah.
Finnegan is not white.
Yes, he is.
No, he's
No, he's
not.
not.
That dude is light skinned.
Okay, my bad. My bad.
Okay. This is gonna be a shot at
Hold
Alabama.
on. Hey, that's
Oh yeah, he is light skinned. He is
That's
light skinned. I would tell him
for
he is
sure.
light skinned.
That's
I'm gonna
Keaton
go.
Clip for
I'm gonna
sure.
go with.
Yeah, he's
I
light
got,
skinned.
I got 3 schools in my head. I got Tuskegee, Towson, or Troy.
None of those three.
Who is it?
It's an Alabama school, and it's Samford.
Oh, good lord.
All right, Brad, coming to you. Let's get this over with. Here we go. Robert Mathis,
Oh.
also Southeast School. Debo might mold this one.
Robert Mathis.
This
Man.
is like oh, I'm gonna be pissed if I can't think of the name. It's honestly, it's like I'm almost positive it's in North or South Carolina. I might be tripping.
Oh man, you're stumping me today, dude. These are hard.
Yeah, I'll give you tough ones.
Robert
If
Mathis.
I were in your shoes, I'd be like, I'll get up a half hour ago. So
Let's go right in the middle or Debo. Coastal Carolina.
it is not Debo.
Bro. Wait, right? You said
Robert Mathis,
yeah.
Colts defensive end legend.
Yeah, he went to I remember Pat McAfee talking about this, and I cannot.
Yeah, he had him on the show.
I cannot think of how it rolls off the tongue. I want to say it's like. I'm not familiar with all the schools' names down there. That's why I can't think of them. I don't know how to like. I know as soon as I hear it, I'm gonna be like, damn. I don't know. I can't think.
Landon's gonna look at this show and be like, "How is it an hour and a half long? I left it 45 minutes. That's gonna be funny."
I'm gonna go ahead and say Carolina Southern.
It's not. It is Alabama A&M.
Yeah, Alabama.
HBCU. We might be here a little bit. I got to think of. Okay,
Chuck Brennan.
Debo. I'm gonna give you a Vikings player.
All right.
Legendary defensive end, Jared Allen.
I know this. That's SEC for sure, right?
No, it's FCS school.
What?
Yeah. He is one.
No shit. Jared Allen. We'll go McNeese State. I don't know.
No.
That's a pretty good guess.
That's
I
pretty good.
was thinking he went to Arkansas for some reason. I don't know why I thought Arkansas.
No. Brad, do you know?
You said it's FCS?
FCS. They all are.
Give me flipping Alcorn State.
We might have to just call it, and I'll give you easier ones. It's Idaho State. I think you already said it. I think you already said that one.
Idaho State is not FC. The Vandals?
Yeah, they are. They're FCS.
They're FCS?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Like, as of recently, right? Because they were definitely on NCAA 14. They used to be Power 5, I'm
No,
pretty sure.
that's Idaho. That was Idaho. Idaho
Oh, got
State
you.
is FCS.
Idaho Vandals, got you.
All right. I doubt you guys know where London Fletcher went.
No, FCS school?
Yeah. I have to move on to my other list here.
Fletcher. Man, these are getting me today, man. I never had
They're all
this
tough.
much trouble.
They're all hard ones.
Put a random one out there. Where did Chuck Brennan go to school? Not Chuck.
Kingsbury University.
Not Chuck. What is his name? Not Chuck Brennan.
Chuck Bednarik or whatever.
No.
South Harmon
I
Institute
just
of
butchered his
Technology.
name.
Where'd Sandusky go to college?
I meant Colt Brennan. I don't know why I said Chuck Brennan.
Oh, Hawaii. Get out of here with that. All right. Do you guys know? I'll go a different one. He went to, good luck. He went to John Carroll University. What is that? I don't even know what that is.
You know Colt Brennan died? Sad.
Really?
Yeah.
He did. He passed away last year.
Did he actually, or are you pulling up Dwayne Haskins?
He actually died.
No, he died.
No, I'm joking around, but that was our segment from the last show that I forgot Dwayne Haskins died. But I actually forgot. All right.
He said RP Dwayne Haskins' career. And I was like, yeah, RP to his life. And he's like, didn't get it. I was like, you don't know Dwayne Haskins dead? He's like, nah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I forgot.
R.I.P. to Sam.
All right, last one. Whoever gets it first wins. Khalil Mack. We got to end the show.
Buffalo.
Uh-oh.
There we go. Debo wins after being down the whole game. Here we go.
Give one more. That one was kind of, give us one more.
All right, one
Give us
more.
a non-FCS school. Give us a good one though. Like something like.
Can I do these one week? Because I got some good ones.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
please.
All right, perfect.
All right, here we go. Wide receiver. He's been around the league. Russell Gage.
Oh,
I'll get the next one ready.
SEC. Russell Gage, SEC.
Yes.
Georgia.
Oh,
No.
What?
No. All right, you guys got it wrong. On the next one's LSU. Moving on.
Oh,
All right.
damn, was he,
Oh, I got one. I got a player.
he was there with Odell and I'm pretty sure Jarvis.
Bingo. Here we go. First one to get it wins. Linebacker legend 2000s, Derek Brooks.
Ooh.
Played for the Buccaneers. He was probably the best in the 2000s.
That's
Power 5 school.
Kansas State?
No.
SEC or what conference?
ACC.
Nice.
ACC. NC State.
No.
Wait, they're not ACC. They're not ACC, are they?
Yeah, they are.
Come on, last one, Dylan. We got to – this is bad.
Joey Porter.
Bro,
I
he
don't even know
was
who that
just
is.
the most ran. Oh my god.
I don't even know Joey
He
Porter.
was students that were in college before he can even read and write.
He played in 2000. He was the Pittsburgh, like,
I was born in
Joey
'98.
Porter.
When he,
Northwestern.
oh, he was. No, crap, I just had it. Where'd he go?
you can't name any better players than this.
James Harrison. Have another one?
Bro.
I'm on this bad? This is embarrassing, man. I thought I knew this stuff.
James Harrison went to a no-name school, didn't he?
You went to Kent State. Moving on.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
All right. Head coach, linebacker stud, Super Bowl champion, Mike Vrabel.
Minnesota.
Ohio State.
Power 5 school.
Ohio State.
It is Ohio State, Mike Vrabel. Debo gets it finally after a half hour of this thing.
I'm surprised
Give him
I'm
the
surprised
dub.
you didn't say like. I'm surprised you didn't do like Phillip Rivers or like. Or
Well, that's
like,
NC State. People all know those.
or like. Like I don't know. Like I'm surprised. Yeah.
Case Keenum.
Houston.
There we
I'm
go.
surprised you didn't do something like that or like.
All right, I'm going to give you guys one. If you can guess this
All
one,
right.
I'll cash out you $10.
All right, fair enough.
Everything.
Oh,
You know, the Giants legend quarterback, Phil Simms.
Yeah.
Where did he go to college?
Hayter University. No.
Graham School of Ministry.
I wish. It's a school in Kentucky. That's why I'm asking.
School in Kentucky.
FCS.
Bro.
Southern Kentucky.
You guys ever heard of
Kentucky Technical College of Culinary Arts.
It was that Trey Quill State one you said earlier.
Tarleton State from Texas? No, it's Moorhead State.
Oh, Moorhead State. Isn't that where
It was like
Bottle is?
Is there not like 1,800 Moorhead states? I swear to God, there's a Moorhead
The
State,
Moorhead,
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
There's the Moorhead D2 school in Minnesota. There's a ton of them.
Ooh.
All right. Brad, you got anything you want to wrap the show up with so we can get out of here?
Last thing I want to say, guys. What's up?
Southern Fan Pocket.
Yes. Come catch me on my podcast at the Southern Fan. I'd love to get one of you guys on there sometime if we can ever make that happen. Also, just want to shout out my Cats, man. If you're a Kentucky fan watching this, keep your head up. That was one of the tougher losses we ever had. Will Levis, still a better quarterback than Hendon Hooker. Hendon Hooker is a system quarterback. I'm going to ride that till I die. He's trash, overrated, and we're going to beat Tennessee this year at Rocky Top. I'm calling it now. Also,
I want to go to that game so bad. It's the day before Halloween. I want to try to get to that game. I'm a long ways away, but I want to go so bad.
Wait,
So
your podcast is Southern Fan, you said?
The Southern
Yes.
Fan, it's on Spotify.
It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on Instagram if you want to shoot us a follow. But hey, man, if you can find a way to come up here, I'll take you. I'll get tickets.
I want to go so bad to that game. And Brooklyn's
Also-
a big Tennessee person, so I want to go to that game so bad.
Yeah. Also, for the Tennessee fans on Twitter who called Will Levis trash, 372 yards, 5 touchdowns total. Can you guess who Will Levis did that against? Tennessee.
What happened to his finger?
He popped it out of place. They
Yeah, I saw the
snapped it
picture
back in. When he fell down on the safety, he tried to catch himself when his hand, and he said, "That's us."
Got you, bro.
And we're dropping a new episode today. As soon as I get off here, I'll be going home and recording it. But guys, I just want to thank y'all. This is so fun. This is so fun, man.
It's all
Wow.
just like, I don't know why we try to do this thing. Like, we don't try to, but it comes off like this formal ESPN show that like we like have segments and stuff. I want to get away from it so bad. I want to like just talk. I want to just have like just shoot it. The more and more we do it, the more segmented we get. But we'll figure out that balance between just having fun and screwing around. Because like the last half hour, we've just been doing nothing. Just being ridiculous.
How about this one? More annoying fan base: Alabama or Tennessee?
Oh, Alabama.
100%.
Alabama, 100%.
Bro, hey, Landon better not hope Georgia beats those dudes. I swear to God. If Georgia beats Bama, he is not going to hear the end of it.
I want to get everybody on the show, and that's the worst take he's ever had on this show. That's the worst take I've ever heard. Todd Bowles has done nothing but be a coordinator in the NFL. Matt LaFleur is proven. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I know Britt Landers, I heard him defend himself, but I couldn't sit there. That drove me nuts.
And we're going to end
Todd Bowles is better than
that.
And can we just like shoot this narrative of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers being like they're not winning the Super Bowl, guys? I know everyone wants to give Tom Brady the trophy already. He looks abysmal.
We didn't get to that game, but my question was, is Tom Brady finally declining? And I think so.
He looks unhealthy, like mentally. That man,
he's like going through a lot.
Isn't he going through a divorce?
Well, he's going to do something. I don't want to talk about his personal life, but on the football field, he looks abysmal right now, guys.
Yeah, it's not good. All right, Devo, who do you got to wrap this thing up?
Brad, thanks for coming on, man. We got to have you on definitely a lot more. Good vibes. Today was a pretty good show. I like getting under Landon's skin. That's probably my favorite thing to do.
It's funny. I love being Brad knows this. I've known you and everybody. I'm always the person that just swindle and I always just stay out of it and I just die laughing. But whenever people get Landon going, it's my favorite thing. It's
so easy. It's so easy.
But he's a pretty good pot stirrer though too. He's pretty. He can definitely give it right back.
Devo, did you or did you not try to get under my skin when you said that Kentucky could not compete in the East?
Bro, honestly, the only reason I said that is because I don't know enough about Kentucky to like put my opinion. I really don't know enough about Kentucky's roster to put my opinion out there like that. I know Tennessee. I've watched it a little bit. Kentucky, I respect them. I just honestly don't know your roster like that.
No, I just thought, I was like, oh, he's trying it. I was trying so hard not to get personal.
Kentucky's on the come up, but like, I don't know if they could beat Tennessee. Tennessee is a solid.
That game's always a good game every year. It's a blast to watch every single. I want to be there so bad at the game.
I was there last year when we played them at Commonwealth. That was one of the most heart-wrenching games of all time, dude. It was rough. We lost by 3. We got like a 3rd and 38. We converted it, and then we turned the ball over in 2 plays.
Yeah, I'm gonna try my best to get us out there. It's gonna take a flight and everything else, but I'm gonna try my best to get out there. Brad, stay on after the show. I'm gonna wrap this thing up here. My last thing I want to take is, yes, Minnesota lost. Yes, everybody's gonna think they're done. Joel Klatt was hyping them up all week, but everybody in the Big Ten West got a loss. Minnesota's still the front runner. Wisconsin fired their coach. Minnesota's gonna get it done. Also, like and subscribe if you're still with us now after an hour and a half of nonsense. You're a really true fan. Like and subscribe. Please do it. And put in the comments where we go wrong. We go wrong every single day. I didn't even know a guy was dead. That's how bad of an analyst I am. So,
it was white.
yeah, I also thought a light-skinned guy was white. So, hate on me. Bring the heat. Let's see what you got to say. Like and subscribe. This is the Fan Cave Podcast. Peace.
Yeah.
Brad, stay on. Thanks, boys.